The conversation surrounding Disney's live-action Snow White took a sharp turn when one of its biggest stars, Gal Gadot, offered a controversial explanation for its struggles. In a candid interview with Israel's channel Curated 12, Gadot spoke directly about the film's reception. She played the evil queen in the film. Gadot linked the backlash to the intense political climate following the October 7th attacks. She said a pervasive pressure exists within Hollywood. That pressure, she argued, pushes celebrities to take critical stances against Israel. She suggested this created a hostile environment for the film and for her personally. It, she said, poisoned the well before audiences even had a chance to buy a ticket. Gadot expressed genuine surprise and disappointment at the film's performance. "I was sure that this movie was going to be a huge success," she said. But the film's box office told a different story. Her comments painted a picture of an industry where political allegiances can impact commercial outcomes. Gadot argued that a wave of anti-Israel sentiment in entertainment hurt Snow White. Her Israeli identity and the broader geopolitical conflict, she suggested, became tied to the film's fate. That narrative overshadowed the movie's other well-documented issues. It placed blame on a specific political dynamic. Gadot lamented the movie was greatly affected by that pressure. Her words resonated in circles that feel Hollywood is policed by ideological tests. By speaking out, she wasn't just defending a struggling project, she was raising the challenges faced by Israeli artists in a global industry. She framed this within an industry grappling with one of the world's most intractable conflicts. Her claim reframed the film's failure from a misfire into a complex tale of political blowback. It argued that audiences or influential voices turned on Snow White not for artistic reasons, but for the politics tied to one of its stars. That assertion added a volatile new layer to the film's postmortem, reaching beyond box office charts into the fraught intersection of celebrity activism and international politics. No matter the cause, the financial reality for Disney's Snow White was undeniably grim. The film was a massive, high-stakes gamble from the start, burdened by a colossal production budget estimated to be between $240 million and $270 million. This figure placed it among the most expensive movies ever made, immediately setting an incredibly high bar for success. To simply break even, the film needed to generate monumental ticket sales globally, a feat that is challenging for even the most anticipated blockbusters. The pressure was immense, and the margin for error was virtually non-existent. When the final box office numbers trickled in, they confirmed everyone's worst fears. The film grossed a mere $225 million worldwide, a figure far below its staggering production costs. It is important to remember that studios only receive a portion of the total box office take, with theaters keeping a significant percentage. This means the actual revenue returning to Disney was substantially less than the reported gross. The film was not just a minor disappointment, it was a certified box office bomb, failing to recoup even its initial investment from theatrical ticket sales alone. Industry analysts and distribution sources painted an even bleaker picture when accounting for all potential revenue streams. After factoring in global home entertainment, television rights, and its eventual placement on Disney+, the film is projected to incur a staggering loss of approximately $115 million. This is a devastating financial blow for any studio, even one as large as Disney. The loss represents a significant write-down and serves as a cautionary tale about the perils of runaway budgets and the unpredictable nature of the modern theatrical market, where audience tastes and viewing habits are in constant flux. The scale of the financial failure cannot be overstated. A loss exceeding $100 million moves a film from the category of an underperformer into the realm of a historic flop. It forces a studio to reevaluate its entire strategy, questioning its reliance on established intellectual property and its approach to live-action remakes. The financial fallout from Snow White became a central part of its story, a stark and unavoidable fact that fueled discussions about what went wrong, making Gadot's subsequent comments on political pressures all the more pointed. The backlash to Gal Gadot's initial comments was swift and widespread, prompting the actress to issue a clarification. Realizing her original statement had been interpreted as assigning sole blame to anti-Israel sentiment, Gadot took to her Instagram story to offer a more nuanced perspective. Of course, the film didn't fail solely because of external pressures, she wrote, a direct acknowledgement that her earlier remarks had oversimplified a complex situation. This public course correction was a clear attempt to quell the controversy and recenter the conversation on the many variables that contribute to a film's journey in the marketplace. In her follow-up message, Gadot emphasized the unpredictable nature of the film industry. There are many factors that determine why a film succeeds or fails, and success is never guaranteed, she explained. This reflected a more pragmatic, industry-savvy viewpoint, recognizing myriad challenges: marketing, competition, script quality, audience reception. It was an admission that while she felt targeted, the film's destiny was not tied to a single issue. She credited the interviewers for asking questions that went straight to the heart, but used the opportunity to soften her definitive stance. She didn't fully retract feeling personally targeted. She said the political climate affected how she was treated. When the film came out, I felt that those who are against Israel criticized me in a very personal, almost visceral way, she elaborated. That reinforced her point about facing hostility, but reframed it as personal experience rather than the film's sole commercial cause. It was a subtle but important distinction between her personal journey and the movie's financial performance. Ultimately, the clarification highlighted the tightrope celebrities walk on sensitive political topics. By walking back the claim that political pressure alone sank the film, she pushed the narrative toward a broader view of Snow White's struggles, acknowledging multifaceted problems beyond the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Long before Gal Gadot's comments, Snow White was already mired in controversies, many centered on lead Rachel Zegler. Zegler frequently used her platform to express political views often clashing with conservative audiences. She was a vocal critic of Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. That led to the Snow Woke label. That label sparked an online boycott, trailers flooded with dislikes, ads filled with negative comments. The firestorm grew when Zegler spoke on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, taking a different side than her co-star. In a 2024 X post she wrote, "And always remember, free Palestine." Backlash followed, and reports say producer Mark Platt flew to New York to intervene. Platt met with Zegler, reportedly asking her to remove the post, which she is said to have refused. That public and private friction split the narrative between the two leading actresses. Controversy spilled into real-world consequences. The film was banned in Lebanon. A conservative boycott in the West plus that ban left the film trapped between opposing political pressures. It was attacked from all sides, making marketing nearly impossible. The controversies combined into a perfect storm of negative publicity. From Zegler's activism to Gadot's Israeli identity, the movie became a lightning rod. Headlines dragged the production away from its fairy tale roots deeper into culture war debates. The contention overshadowed the film, redefining it for many viewers. In the final analysis, the commercial failure of Snow White cannot be attributed to a single cause. While Gal Gadot's feelings of being targeted due to political pressures are a valid part of the story, they represent just one piece of a much larger and more complicated puzzle. The film's struggles were the result of a confluence of factors: a death by 1,000 cuts scenario, creative choices, marketing missteps, and a toxic public discourse all played a significant role. Attributing the flop solely to Hollywood's stance on Israel, as Gadot initially suggested, oversimplifies a deeply troubled production. The film was on shaky ground from the very beginning due to its astronomical budget. Spending upwards of $240 million on a live-action remake of a well-known story created immense financial pressure, requiring it to be a global phenomenon just to break even. Furthermore, comments from Rachel Zegler about modernizing the fairy tale and removing the traditional prince character alienated a core segment of the audience that sought nostalgia, not revisionism. This, combined with her political statements, fueled a go woke, go broke narrative that, while often overstated, certainly contributed to the negative buzz. It is also crucial to consider the data-driven perspective. Industry analysis suggests that the average moviegoer is often less influenced by political headlines and online culture wars than social media trends would indicate. While boycotts and online campaigns generate significant noise, their actual impact on ticket sales can be difficult to quantify and is often less dramatic than believed. For many viewers, the decision to see a movie is still driven by more traditional factors: an entertaining trailer, positive word of mouth, star power, and a compelling story, areas where Snow White evidently failed to connect with a mass audience. Ultimately, Snow White stands as a cautionary tale for modern Hollywood. It demonstrates how a project can be crushed under the weight of its own budget, divisive creative choices, and the polarized political landscape. The competing controversies surrounding its two lead actresses created a chaotic and unappealing narrative. leaving the film caught between opposing ideological camps. The failure was not about one star or one issue. It was a comprehensive breakdown resulting from a combination of financial imprudence, cultural missteps, and the inability to rise above the political noise that now defines so much of our public square.